Hello, everyone. This is Nikki, also known as Business Trader, and you're watching the March 12, 2021 Philippine Market Update. It's already a Friday, so let's begin. Right. So the Philippine market, it's a little bit unstable today. So just bear with my connection. Okay. So let's go to the stats. Top traded index. Still there? All right. I'm still here, guys. Let's read it. So you've got Ayala Land at 37, AGI is at 11, San Miguel Corp is 123, Luciatan Group is 13.3, Ayala Corp recovered quite sharply at about oh, sorry, it's not sharp. It's just 775. Sorry, percentage weight is 6%. I misread it. Security Bank is 125. Pure Gold is 35.5. MPI is 399. Jollibee is 182. Emperador is 10.3. Robinsons Retail is still 54. Telephone is 1311. URC is 126. First Gen is 30. Aboitiz Power is 25. Bloomberry is Sorry, I didn't notice that I got disconnected. But from the index movers, I hope that you guys are still there. From the index movers, the bigger ranges are happening in your properties. Mega World at 3.5. So let's take a look on some statistics. Bear with me. Internet connection today is very bad, so I had to shift somewhere, and it might be intermittent. Okay, let's take a look at the top traded names. You've got Tito Telecom rising from the ashes. It went down from 18 to 9, and now it's back to 11, up 8%, and 1.6 billion pesos. Is this a dead cat bounce? We think that it is a dead cat bounce. But however, how high can this bounce go? Can it go to 12, 13, 14? So any lower highs is potentially a selling area. Your ASEN is now 7.1, and even if this one didn't crash as much, take note that at 750 or above, you do have some selling pressure on your ASEN. APL continued downward here at about 20 cents. It fell to about 16.50 cents a couple of days ago. And so this is still a lower high, a dead cat bounce rally to sell from. Your FIS 245, still a bounce, fell down to as low as 1.95. So you've got a lot of DCBs happening, dead cat bounces happening in your non-index names. Your BPI is 80, Merrimart is 5.19, BDO is 105. You've got a 30% increase on LR warrant. So you are seeing that the Philippine market continues to trade on the upside for the non-index names, but it's really been a volatile movement for your speculative names. So you really have to be buy low, sell high, and lower high, sell low, type of a trader. Sorry, are you guys still there? Yeah, I'm still here. I know that the connection is intermittent. So yeah. Oh, share screen. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, let me share my screens. So yeah, looking at the top traded names, you've got a slew of the top traded names in the Philippines actually still concentrated in a lot of your non-index movers. So the non-index movers, however, are at lower highs. So let's try to focus on some names that are at least not lower highs. Let's read about some people's comments, if any. Hi, Nikki. What do you consider to be a dead cat bounce? is a good entry price. For URC is trading at about 126. So a couple of 5% lower, you do have quite a lot of support, 120 to 110. It's seen as a consumer staple. It's quite stable. However, just like what you saw with Pure Gold, Aboitiz Power, Robinson's Retail, and Meralco, they are also in an oversold manner. So it's not likely that we'll see a bounce anytime soon. Why do you think that the markets are not participating with these quote unquote defensive high cash flow names, even if the market is very weak in the Philippines? I think one possible reason why Philippine market is very slow in recovery versus other countries has to do that the URCs is probably going to trade at a lower valuation if the index in the Philippines will continually trade at about 6.7 or 6.6 or 6.5. So the lack of value turnover today in the Philippine market tells you that some people are willing to buy the market, but only at a certain level. So I'd say that start buying URC 120 below, although we're not sure if it will really go down that low. As for BPI, we've seen BPI trade as even low as about 75. Let's take a look at BPI. Okay, so BPI, like all the financials, have been topping out at 90 for BPI. So that was the top for BPI. However, there's also a low for BPI. Let's take a look at the charts. Your financials are expected to trade within a single range. So this is your 90 and this is your 80. However, if you want to be more safe with your entry points, I think that first you have to understand that there is a support here before at about 68 to 62. 64, right? Very strong supporters here at 64 to 68. Well, I'm not sure if we will really go that low. You have to assume the worst is not yet over. And if the worst is not yet over, if this is your resistance at 90, try to buy midway from about 75 all the way down. So I'd wait it out for BPI. And then for URC, try to wait it out. Of course, waiting might not result to a potential real buy. Hi guys, sorry, my net is really bad today. So I'll just give you a quick answer on the URC and BPI. URC, I think, has a strong support at 120 below, but don't try to catch it easy. Like wait it out. It's doing 126, so wait about 5% lower. Let's see where it takes us. Your BPI is at 80 right now. See whether you can get it about 5 to 7% lower at about 75, starting 75 below. For nickel and FNI, I'd rather get Nickel Asia if I have one choice, but I'd still wait. Like Nickel Asia right now is still trading at about 5 pesos. I try to see whether I can get it at about 450, so no rush. But if it doesn't fall, it's also good. So it's now 544, very strong. We do expect a very strong support in Nickel Asia at about 450 to 5 peso. Those who have it might probably be selling at about 6 pesos or even 540. Some of them might be selling and taking some profits. But I'd say that the bulls are still in control on this name, on Nickel Asia. You just still really have to wait it out. If you get the chance to get in on these lows at about 450, then that's good. But if it doesn't really fall, then let it be. For FNI, you've got a support before at about 1.4, but I don't think you can get it that low anymore. Let's take a look. It's now doing 2.4. I remember Nickel Asia was 180 and FNI was trading at 1.4 during that time. So this one, FNI, might have more supports at about 150 or 1.8. So you want to wait it out first. This one has more volatility rather than Nickel Asia. Very strong supports at 150, definitely. But try to see whether 190 to 150 is a potential area of entries for your FNI. So I'm not quite sure if it will fall, but if it does, then you be ready. There's also a news like this one. Forgot to read it, so let's just read it together. PSE is trying to tighten the backdoor listing rules, March 12, 2021. Philippine Stock Index is overhauling to ensure that minority shareholders are properly apprised and given the opportunity to participate in an equity deal. PSE is seeking to redefine the triggers for backdoor listing, requiring more stringent corporate approvals, mandating a public offering of at least 10% of the subject company shares within a year from the closing of the deal. Shares acquired pursuant to the backdoor listing deal will be locked up for 6 months after the public offering, and shareholders owning at least 10% should be locked up for a year from closing or completion of the transaction. In drafting this new framework, Mr. President, PSE President Ramon Manzon said exchange is seeking to strengthen the regulation of reverse takeovers or transactions leading to a backdoor listing of unlisted companies or businesses. Given that these companies or businesses aren't going through the initial listing processes and are not subjected to the same level of scrutiny applied to companies conducting an IPO. Based on our proposal, transactions should be approved by at least 2/3 of the entire membership, and the backdoor listing is deemed to occur if the listed company directly and indirectly acquires the shares of the assets of an unlisted company or person. The same will be invoked if a transaction or series of transactions results in a change in control or the de facto control of the listed company, change in composition of the board, or a substantial change in business. The transaction will be considered a backdoor listing if the acquisition takes place within 2 years or acquiring a seat in the board of the listed company. All right. So more stringent rules is actually a good thing for the consumers in the Philippine market, because that means that a further scrutiny of backdoor listing tells you that there will be less likelihood of any company to just get listed without these approvals. So these approvals are really meant to help your average everyday Juan de la Cruz. How will retailers benefit with that? Yeah, I mean, I think all that it means is that no company can just simply enter the market without these stringent rules. FA and SEC, Ma'am Nikki, Semirara is in a downtrend, in a long-term downtrend, and FA looks to be a dead cat bounce here. So your FA is topping here at about 320. Any rallies looks to be a dead cat bounce. So you could see that there's very strong resistance here now at about 2.86. And even if this bounce today at about 245, do note that these are dead cat bounces to sell into. It looks like this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. You have a real resistance at about 320, and we won't see this break to all-time highs anytime soon after this collapse. So I'd say that be careful on FA. It looks to be a distribution. In this case, 320, 280 to 260 are being 250 are even being sold, and then expect some drops. Looks like a big drop on the downside. How low? Maybe about 1.5. Usually you want to wait it out here at about 136 or 92 cents. So although we're not sure if it will fall, best case is to be safe. Sorry. Were you able to see the charts that I shared or not shared? Oh, sorry. Let me share my screen again. Forgot to share that. Again, take a look at this chart of it is a rally to resistance. This is your resistances at about 320 to 280, or a very strong distribution here about 3 pesos, right? So you've got a resistance here at 3, and usually the support is about 50% lower here at about 140 to 150. So with downside imminent at about 30 to 50% lower, be careful on these names. 245 is a sell. If it rallies to about 280, you still would sell it. Be careful on that name. PHA, you've got another question. What was it? Forgot the chart. The question was Semirara. Semirara is a downtrend. So any rallies on Semirara should be considered as a sell. A long-term downtrend for Semirara intact. So be careful about these names. Looks like it rallied, right, to about 15 pesos, but very strong resistance is seen. So at current prices, I'd say that this is just a consolidation, but it's really on the downside. So this was your resistance at 15. Here at about 12.50 or 13, I would still say that it's still being sold down. So a very long-term downtrend to all the coal industries. In fact, on the worldwide scale, a lot of companies are actually being sold down in terms of coal. So be careful on Semirara mining. Of course, it's trying to do power in renewable, but I don't think that it will easily be able to reverse the downtrend. So, Nikki, what do you think about Dito? Is it a comeback for real? No, there is no comeback for real after a 50% drop. Dito is a distribution, so this is a dead cat bounce. What you'll notice here in Dito Telecom is very clearly a dead cat bounce. All the charts that we've noticed that exhibits that drop, whether you take a look at 1900s or year 2000s, these require a huge downturn. So drops at about 18 all the way to about 9. What you see here is a classic dead cat bounce. So this is a sell at 11 and 12.50. And very hard to reverse this. Even if it rallies to 14, very rare that you could get this at as high as 18. So those who got in at 860 are going to sell at 11 before it collapses to about 7 or 6. So be a little bit careful. No reprieve. This is just a rally and then another distribution downwards. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, and I hope that you learned something. Let's go to our global market updates, where there's really a lot of Awesome 10X opportunities for you to watch. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.